What is fun? Welcome to Philosopher's Corner. I'm John. What is fun? The standard definition for fun is an activity engaged in for amusement, merriment. That's basically it. But the word itself conjures up all the things that we personally think of as fun. Like I personally think of fun as love in motion. Just things that I love to do, and they generate this feeling of amusement, enjoyment, play, a whole range of emotions. In fact, fun is such a commonly used word, and it's sort of a philosophical word more than an adjective, really, because you're saying, oh, I'm having fun. And fun covers more than just the activity. It covers the context of the situation. It covers a bunch of sophisticated feelings that you're having while you're engaged in what you deem fun. And ultimately, fun, although it's a vague general word, covers essentially infinite different activities, whether they're mental, physical, emotional. It's just all over the place. It's a very wide encompassing word. And philosophically, what a lot of people really want to get down to when it comes to fun is they really want to know is fun, does it have to be moral? Does fun imply any sort of moral condition on the activities that are taking place? And philosophically, the answer is no. Philosophically, somebody like Caligula, the Roman emperor who was just a degenerate, sadistic, masochistic, awful person, just a bloodthirsty emperor who is famed for his debauchery and essentially torturous activities, he found all of his activities fun. He found all of his immoral and unethical activities to be wildly amusing and producing much merriment for himself. So we know that fun is not a moral condition, philosophically speaking. Now, some people, they have a problem with that because when you think fun, because most people are healthy people. And most people, when they think about it, they go, oh, well, fun. Well, when I think of fun, I think of, going to an amusement park or, going to the movies or playing catch with somebody, spending a nice day in a meadow, surfing a wave. And they don't like to think about the fact that some people think about fun and they think, oh, I'd like to do harm to people, or I'd like to come up with conniving schemes that deprive people of life and liberty. And we generally call those people bad people, people who have engaged in immoral choices, especially consciously immoral choices, because fun does imply some sort of conscious level of the activity. When we look at fun and we say it's something that causes amusement and produces enjoyment, then what we're saying is that that person who's engaged in it, or that being, on some level, has become self-aware of the activity they're engaged in. And it's an activity that once they become engaged in it, they find it enjoyable. But that doesn't say anything about the antecedent. And the antecedent is the cause, is the preceding condition. So the antecedent of fun, healthy people assume that it's a moral activity, because the simple majority of people are, moral people. They're healthy people. But that's not true. The antecedent to fun, the cause of fun, can actually be an immoral activity. A serial killer could find it fun to murder somebody. And in fact, many of them report that that's in fact the case. So fun is a word and a concept and a realm, essentially, that just describes the end state of the person who's engaged in it. And in that sense, you actually can't tell what the cause of the fun is simply by the state of being of the person. So you could look at a person and say, oh, this person is engaged in fun, but you don't know if they're at a birthday party or if they're murdering someone, like in the previous 10 seconds. I mean, sure, there's probably visual clues that you can drill into, but for philosophical analysis, there's really no way to tell what's causing the fun. And in that way, when we use fun and when we address it, philosophically speaking, we can't steer it in terms of the morality. And that does cause some thinkers some issues, because naturally you want to think that only moral things can lead to fun. It's simply not true. Now, in terms of fun varies obviously by individual, it varies by group. And now that we know that it's not tied directly to a moral cause, you can extrapolate, or you can imagine all the various uses of fun, both moral and immoral. If you can create a context, and if you can create a group need for people to feel good, then you can steer them into either of the paths. You can get them to do immoral things, like some people would say. If you look at history books, states have a history of making war fun, and unjust, immoral wars fun, and they get everybody on board, and then all of a sudden people are engaged in war and they're having fun, which is true. And then also you can use it for good purposes. You can get everybody at your local sports team together to win a championship, and in the midst of winning the championship, you can also have fun. So fun it's a state that people want to be in because it's fun. It varies widely, and it can be used for a lot of different reasons. It also, in terms of an evolutionary state, it answers one of those questions in life, like, well, like, what are one of the purposes of life? Well, many people cite enjoyment. I certainly think that fun is one of the purposes of life, to engage in an activity that leads you to enjoyment and amusement. Because no matter what activity you choose, you're still engaged in life. There's no way to detach from life and engage in it at the same time. Like, even if you're transcendental about it, like, you're still in life. You cannot remove yourself from life. Even the most detached yogi to ever exist cannot detach from life itself, because existence of the soul is a root proof of being engaged in life. Having a consciousness is still engaged in life. You would have to find a way to abdicate your actual existence, and then find a way to not exist in the void, but then you couldn't report back. So no matter what level of consciousness you are, no matter how detached you are, you're engaged in life. There's no escape from that. There's no ultimate detachment from life and then saying that you're not in life. That's impossible. So fun is one of the great areas to shoot for, or to aim for life, because it's the area in which you're consciously engaged in life, and it's providing you amusement. It's being an enjoyable experience. So fun is the area where life becomes enjoyable. On that path to that goal, you have to choose. The person, the being, has to choose whether making moral or immoral choices to achieve at that area of fun. For some people, being the head of a ruthless terrorist organization, is fun. For some people, being the head of the PTA and raising beautiful children is fun. They're both having fun. And fun is an evolutionary, I don't know, a reward, but it's a state. It's a state that most humans have a built-in compass that they're navigating towards. There's an internal. Usually, people are. I'd say the simple majority of people, when you analyze it, they're measuring their current and chronic emotional state in comparison to fun. Fun covering sort of any enjoyable activity, whether it's eating, making love, making good business, having good revenue, raising a good family, uh, any sort of success, apparently moral or immoral. But fun is the area that they're trying to construct their life at. In the younger ages of human development, fun can be easily seen in play and activities and friendships and activities. And then as human beings grow older, more sophisticated, and they have more agency over their life, then the idea of fun, those ideas still remain, but then they become more complex and they grow commensurate to the mental acuity and comprehension of the individual. So then during the course of a day, a sophisticated person, they might say, well, it's fun if I get a first class ticket from New York to Paris, and I eat in the shadow of the Eiffel Tower and go to a great opera, and then wake up and go to the Louvre, and like that's fun. And they wouldn't have fun in a riding bikes with their friends in the streets anymore. So it's a scale, but it's also a constant in life, because no matter how sophisticated you get, nor no matter how simple you are, no matter how moral you are, nor no matter how immoral you are, any age or morality level of life is covered by fun, because fun's a state of being that is comprehensive to the individual and comprehensive to the group. So in that way, it's one of the great rewards of life, because you can take any path to get there and have fun. And one of the nice things about fun, and one I think philosophically one of the evolutionary utilities of it, is that once you get into an area where you're feeling fun, whether it was like immoral or moral path that got you there, and you're engaged in your fun, generally speaking, your defenses are down because you're letting it all in finally, because that's the thing that you enjoy doing, either solo or with a group. And when you get to that stage, you look around, you get a very, very, very accurate, truthful window of who you really are. And it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what your station in life is, it doesn't matter even what your matter of comprehension is. When you find yourself in the midst of fun and you look around, you'll kind of know who you really are. And you can do that when you look at other people too, when they're engaged in what they consider to be fun. So if you find yourself fun, you're like, oh, I'm having a fun day. And you look around, you're at a backyard barbecue with friends and family and the sun's shining and you're having a great time. You're probably that kind of person, especially if you never stop when you're having fun and you look around, you're like, oh, me and my friends are robbing and murdering somebody, which some people do. Some people look up in the midst of a violent crime and go, oh man, I'm having fun with my friends. And they find out, oh, that's who I am. I'm a guy who has fun doing criminal activity and murdering people. And in those two instances, the fun of it, which turns out to be a complex projection of the individual finally coming to fruition, can really let the person know what their values are in a non-analytical way, in a very, like, the most visceral way possible, combining all the elements of life, all the elements of the energy, all the, as deep as you want to take it, all of the moral and immoral choices, all of everything. And then, because the fun is only unlocked because the person's emotional state has matched up with the situation that's arisen. And if it's fun, if they consider it fun, it means that they've consciously decided that it's a thing that they're emotionally enjoying and mentally enjoying. So they've approved of the situation for their own enjoyment. They've said at some point, fun is the trigger within the person to say, I enjoy this. This is what I'm into. This moment. And then they're open and there's accountability, because then they can look at the situation, or a person outside the situation can look in and go, oh, that's what that person is into. That's what they consider fun. And then from there, you can look and go, oh, these are their values laid out. A lot of their values laid out. You can't always have all your values laid out, but like these are a lot of their values laid out. These are the things that these are the things that bring them joy. These are the things that like bring them enjoyment, amusement. This is what they're about. And then from there, you can analyze it. It's a great window into the soul of people. Fun. So, what is fun? It's a moment in time in life for a human or a being where they're enjoying life. They're having amusement. They're dancing with life. It's causing them merriment and enjoyment. And you can get there through immoral or moral means. It's not a moral marker, but it's a state that can give us a great window into the beings involved. Well, I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for spending some time here at Philosopher's Corner, and have fun.